Men don't wear makeup.
All men want is sex.
They aren't emotional.
Unfaithful.
Men don't cry.
They're all laddish and
Men are
get big or die.
Must have short
Sleeps
hair.
around.
Men
Just
have
They
to
have big muscles and be sporty to be a man.
Would you consider yourself very manly?
Well, to a degree.
That depends what you mean. If you mean I do a lot of sports, I don't.
I find it hard to answer that question when what is manly?
I mean, my voice right now is probably quite like that because I've got a bad cold, and it is a bad cold, this one.
No, because the stereotypes of manly means like playing like sports and fighting people and stuff, and they're the stereotypes that I don't think should exist. But if I'm going against them, it's stereotypes, and I'm not manly.
But if you mean in the sense that I try and look out for people, then I do.
The fact I am a man, or male.
Because I mean, personally, I don't go to the gym, and why should that make me any less of a man who, compared to someone who goes every day?
If I see someone that's maybe not as strong, or not in the sense of like muscles, but like they need help, then I'll try and help them.
When was the last time you cried?
The last time I cried?
The last time I cried?
It was probably last year when my granddad died, yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think crying is like a release that everyone does if they're overwhelmed.
I'm not really too sure. I don't really cry that often.
I think the last time I cried was last week, when things just get a bit stressful.
Oh, I think I shed a tear at the Rugby World Cup when we got knocked out.
Understandable.
Yesterday evening. I was just in a bit of a sad mood. Felt like having a little cry.
I think a lot of people cry, and I probably cried like probably last week or something about being stressed out. It's just a natural thing to do.
Like, I don't know, maybe I do some meditation sometimes, and like that can get quite deep.
Would you cry in public?
No.
No, I don't think. No, I never cried in public.
Would you?
Well, it depends what it's about. Probably not.
I don't want. I wouldn't cry in public.
Why?
Because you have to. I think you have to try and stay strong. Because if you stay strong, then it kind of helps everyone else.
But part of being a man is that you can't describe the feelings, you can't talk about it with anyone, because saying that you cry, saying that you have emotion, makes you seem like you're just weak, makes you seem like you're pathetic. You're supposed to be a man, you're supposed to be buff, you're supposed to be able to control your emotions, you're supposed to be not feeling certain emotions. But why should I not feel emotions that every other normal human being feels?
How do you feel about discussing your emotions with your family or friends?
Family, not at all.
My family and friends are really supportive, so I feel like I can discuss my emotions and stuff.
Friends, to a degree, yeah.
But I understand that some groups aren't like that. But friends are there to pick you up when you're low, and I think discussing emotions can always help.
I think talking about it with friends and family, especially with friends as well, makes it less of a taboo subject to be able to talk about, and because of that should help other men in later life and their children hopefully to be able to talk about emotions more freely than we are able to today.
We also asked people about their own personal experiences with male stereotypes. You're going to be given some of these to read, and we would like to hear your real thoughts, feelings and reactions to them.
I have friends who felt they had to lie
About having sex to fit in.
I would say that's quite sad. You should be accepted for who you are, whether you've lost your virginity or not.
Yeah, I know people have done that.
I think a lot of people do this, and I think that's also wrong, because if your friends say if you feel like you have to fit in around your friends, then you've got the wrong friends.
But I guess if you're in that kind of friend group, then you're with the wrong friends.
I have friends who have felt so pressured to fit into society's idea
of what a boy should look like.
That it's brought on eating disorders.
That it's brought on eating disorders.
The fact that this brings on eating disorders, I think, is absolutely terrible.
They shouldn't have to feel that they have to look a certain way just to fit in.
And you've got sort of the, you know, the lovely strapping chaps that you see patrolling the screens and pages that someone would start to think, oh, perhaps I am insufficient.
And the fact that it causes some men to feel a certain way about themselves because of the way other men and girls themselves actually look on men.
Yeah, it would make sense. Obviously it's not a good thing, but it would make sense, definitely.
It's something that they should try and get past, really. We should all try and get past, and we shouldn't judge people as much, because it's going to solve a lot more problems if we start doing that.
A bereaved child who has lost his mother.
He's told to man up.
He bottles up his grief, and this affects him for his whole life.
In that he shuts down emotionally and cannot connect with other people.
That's really... He lost his mother, told to man up.
That shouldn't happen because he's lost his mother, and he bottles up his grief. It's not right, really.
Probably happens more often than you think.
I think this is very wrong, like being told to man up, and that is like not very good because that does affect people for their whole life. And going back, like, what does man up even mean?
Well, it's different. I'm probably going to come at it from quite a different standpoint. As when I was at school, yeah, you hear these sorts of things all the time, but now I'm actually out in the big wide world. There's so many different groups, and there's so many different groups of people you can hang out with, like-minded people. So if you are a certain way, like I'm not particularly the traditional sort of masculine. I mean, obviously I've got huge muscles, but that's just sort of... I don't go to the gym 6 times a week, and I'm not massively into football. And obviously when you're in school and you're such a sort of small pool of people you can mix with, it does seem like, oh, if you're not the ultra masculine type, then oh, you're not a man. But it's such a wide spectrum, especially when you leave school. Then you finally realise actually out in the world it's almost 50-50, and 50% people who are going to play to that stereotype, and that's fine because that's them. It's just when people feel, shit, I need to change who I am to fit in with that. I think showing emotions is quite interesting, because when you... It depends. Amongst your friends, it depends your friendship group, because I had a group of friends where we weren't ultra masculine, and yeah, it's still a bit awkward just like crying in front of your mates and stuff. But when you, I think leaving school is a big one. It's like a breeding ground for kind of second guessing yourself and not being completely comfortable with who you are. When you leave school, then it's not seen as anything, because there's so many weird people out in the world that if you want to have a cry on the train, like crying in public, I think I've cried on the train. I was really tired. I'd worked all through the night and I was knackered, and I missed my stop on the train. I just like had a cry and called my mum, because which is shit. But I think if I was in school, yeah, I mean, God, I'm not going to start crying at school, but I think when get through that school period, get past that threshold, and then you just do you, and no one was looking at me strangely for crying on the train, because everyone's got shit going on.
Men aren't emotional.
All men want is sex.
Real men don't cry.